Today we're going to work with levels to learn how to change value tones in images. So the first step we need to do is duplicate this layer, and we're going to call it levels. Okay. So we're going to use a lasso tool, which is right here, this nice little lasso tool, and we're going to select various sections of the sky to make it go darker. So I'm going to start up here in the right corner and select a section. Now I'm going to show you what not to do, okay? Don't just make your selection and then immediately go to image adjustment levels. Because if you do that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get this really precise line, and that is not something you want to do. So after you select your section, you need to go to Refine Edge. And you need to feather it out so that it gradually blends out. I would say anywhere between 80 and 100 is probably going to work very nicely. So as we can see here, it's all blended out very nicely. So now we can say OK and come up here to Image Adjustment Levels. And we are going to take this little black triangle and move it over, but very gradually until it gets to just the start of this hill. And click OK. We can now deselect that, and look what happens. Looks like the right corner is a little bit darker, so that's exactly what we want to do. We're going to take this little middle section here now, avoiding our hills. Go to Refine Edge, and again we're going to feather that out gradually. Looks like it's starting to feather out pretty nice. Up here is nice and feathered out, and even though this part's not showing feathered along this edge here, the whole thing has feathered out. It's not a worry, so I'm going to select OK. And now I'm going to come up to Image Adjustment Levels, and I'm going to move this little black triangle over slightly. And we can see that it's getting a little bit darker here in the middle. So if I go over here and click on Levels, we can see that the right and this middle section is now much darker. Now I'm going to go to the top left corner and click on Refine Edge, feather that out. Anywhere between 80 and 100, and say OK. And I'm going to go to Image Adjustment Levels, and again I'm going to make that a little bit darker, but not too much more. Okay, so there we go. We got our top sky area is now much darker than it started as. There we go. That was what it started at, and now it's a little bit darker. So I want to actually lighten this middle section here, so I'm going to just select this middle section, and I'm going to Refine Edge, and I'm going to feather that out to about 80 to 100. 80 to 100 is probably fine, and just let that think for a little bit. It's definitely starting to feather out, but it's thinking. There we go. We can see it's thinking over here on the right side. My computer is slow today. We can see that this is all feathered out, so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to say OK. And we can see that now we have a little selection here on the right and a little selection here on the left. But we do know that those two areas are completely feathered. So we can come up to Image Adjustment Levels, and now I'm going to move it from the right to the left, but I'm not going to overdo it because I don't want to make it too bright in the middle. I can even move this little gray triangle over a little bit and click OK. And then deselect that, and we can turn this on and off, and we can see that the middle section is definitely a lot lighter. I might take a little more here, just on the left side. Go to Refine Edge, feather that out a bit to about 56. Go up to Image Adjustment Levels, and I'm going to lighten that up just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do this right side just a little bit more. Go to refine edge, feather that out to about 40. Okay. Image adjustment levels. Make that a little bit lighter. Just move it over a little bit. Just make that a little bit lighter. Okay. And then there we go. So this is now done.